Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Hunkered Down with Seth. I have a really fun guest for you guys today. He is officially the fourth most handsome man in Kirkland, Washington, and one of
Nice.
my all-time favorite improvisers, not only to improvise with, but to just watch, because he is such a great goofball and he has amazing comedic
Oh,
timing. One of my favorite people, Bryan Wells. Bryan, thanks for being on.
oh, my gosh, Seth, that was a great intro. Thank you very much.
And well deserved as well, because
And well, thank you. But you might have to update some of some of the stats you gave me because we moved to Kenmore, so I'm
oh
actually living above Mr. T's trophies, um, and so I don't know where I rank as far as the most handsome people in Kenmore. So
well
I'm hoping I'm still fourth. That'd be great.
well the good thing is when you find out your official ranking, you could just go downstairs to the trophy shop and have a trophy made
Get
out.
my Yes, right. You know I will.
And
That's right. I got all the good deals on trophies.
you ever think about opening a competing trophy shop across the street from the trophy place to find out who the real winner is?
Ooh, that is good. I hadn't thought of that, but I'll bring that up with Dale.
Wait, Dale's
Yeah,
he's Mr. T?
he runs he runs the trophy shop. Well, I think he's not Mr. T. I think he just is running Mr. T's business. I don't know when the last time Mr. T was actually running Mr. T's trophies.
I had no idea that this was. Is this like a nationwide franchise, or is just this a one-time
I,
thing?
well, I don't think it has anything to do with the Mr. T of wide renown. Pity the fool, Mr. T. Um, and yeah, I don't know that it's. I wouldn't be surprised if it was a chain too, but I don't know. I've only been living here for a couple months in this area, and so and then I guess half of that time has been in quarantine. So there hasn't been much time to explore the rich, I'm sure, and deep history
Oh,
and culture of Kenmore.
well, Kenmore does have a few cool stuff. They got
Oh, it definitely does. Kenmore Lanes, and they've just updated. There's a few restaurants. They have Brew Row. So there's like three breweries, one of which is reportedly good. Um, so
one out of three.
they've got it happening. It's coming. It's up and coming, and yeah, I like living here. You have a nice space.
Yeah, the Cozy Inn is one of my favorite bars, also.
Ooh, the Cozy Inn. I'll have to write that one down to check
Yeah,
it out.
because I used to live up in Montlake Terrace, so I know the area very well.
Oh, yeah. Of course you do.
In fact, in Mountain Lake Terrace, there's a great Mexican restaurant called Espuelas. It's do you know where the GameStop is down the street from the high school?
Nope.
Okay, so there's this high school, Mountain Lake Terrace High School, and you go up the street a little bit, and there's a GameStop, and in the same parking lot is this Mexican restaurant called M- Espuelas. I don't know if it's associated with Mr. T either, but they got amazing chimichangas. You should definitely check it out.
Okay. Yeah. No. I love it. We just actually had Mexican delivered last night, and I had fried chicken stuffed burritos, which
Ooh,
I thought were a little bit more grand than they were. Still absolutely delicious, but um, I was expecting like a burrito, like a full-on big burrito uh, with fried chicken instead of like as the meat, but instead it was just fried chicken in a tortilla.
jeez.
With
That
cheese, meat, yeah,
you think
yeah.
the people of Kenmore would be more culturally uh, knowledgeable about Mexican food?
Yeah, the authentic fried chicken burrito.
Exactly. So before all this, what have you been up to, performance-wise?
Performance-wise, well, yeah, we had the hip opera. I mean, you'll find out more about that talking to Tiffany. But yeah, we were about to have our grand opening right before everything.
Ooh.
Inslee, the governor Inslee shut everything down, and things started getting real distant, social distant. Yeah. So yeah, the hip opera was in full swing. We were getting through some of our last rehearsals, and so that was pretty. I was pretty excited to get that started.
Yep.
I had been doing theater sports a little bit more than I had been before. Just trying to get regular reps doing theater sports, and that was going pretty well. You remember Jeff Grayson?
Oh, of course.
He calls me Mr. Theater Sports because there was a streak there, especially when I was starting out at UP, where I was just winning all the time. And so he said I was Mr. Theater Sports. And then I didn't do so much theater sports for a while, or I wasn't performing as much.
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe I lost my mojo or something, but I just wasn't. But he still calls me Mr. Theater Sports. Anyway.
You know, if you just stayed in college, you could have been Dr. Theater Sports.
I know. I would have really pursued the intensive program that is getting your doctorate in theater sports.
Exactly. And then you Belinda, and John Stevens could have formed a team. You know.
Yeah, that's right. It would be the doctor, the theater sports doctors.
Yeah.
Doctors of theater.
Oh wait. Well, Colin could he's a doctor, so there could still be a doctor. So
there's lots of doctors. There's so many doctors at UP.
Yeah, I just named 3, and I think there's 17 more.
Yeah.
I mean, there's Isaiah. There's let's see, Bob.
Bob.
Oh, Bob, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, I've been getting off on the wrong track. So, theater sports. What are some of the funnest team names that you've had?
Oh my gosh, funnest team names? Well, we just had a winning streak with Palentine's. It was a great team name, but it definitely led us to victory several weeks in a row.
Nice.
So we started with Palentine's because it was like the theater sports show after Valentine's Day. And then by the end of the month, we were still Palentine's. And so I'm sure audiences were confused on why we were hanging on to Valentine's Day so much.
Yeah, it's superstition. Ride the horse.
Exactly. I mean, I like to try and think of really clever theater sports names, but something that I found is like either people come in, it's really hard to brainstorm with other improvisers getting creative and I don't want to marry my idea. If I think I have a really clever, it's hard. I think it's hard to come up with great team names that are clever, punny, maybe even like current on what's going on.
Yeah.
I usually on World Peas. That was my first theater sports team name. World Peas.
World Peas.
Yeah, like blended peas.
Yep.
Or world.
Well, that's why you guys are improvisers and not stand-ups.
Yes. Yeah. Well, if we want to do stand-up, we just do 99 blanks.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Or I like my women how I like my blank.
Exactly. Yeah. So I mean, if we want to fall back on our stand-up hunches, we just go for one of those gimmicky games, and
Yeah, that's all improv is, wasting time. Same thing with stand-up.
Yeah, wasting time.
Yeah, the only difference is in improv you can't repeat.
You don't believe that, Seth?
Oh, I absolutely believe that.
You think the art of humor and making people laugh is just a waste of time. It's frivolous. You sound like my father.
I think, well, two things. One, I adopted you 3 months ago, so I am your father. And
Oh, you did?
yeah,
Is the paperwork going through?
oh, absolutely. I just need to get two things notarized. Uh,
Okay.
yeah.
Well, let me know when it's official so that I can call you dad and I can have the relationship with my father I always wanted.
Oh, of course. It'll mainly be through the Xbox. I mean, I love my dad, but if I could only hang out with my dad playing Xbox, that'd be my ideal relationship.
Yeah, my dad actually had a stint of playing Halo, like way back in the day. Like when me and my brother were still growing up, he somehow sequestered himself and beat Halo on Legendary, and that was. And then he was like, I can't play any more video games because just like you guys, I get sucked into it, and
Yeah.
he was get addicted to it or whatever. But that's his video game claim to fame is he beat the original Halo on Legendary.
Wow. Yeah,
Yeah,
my mom was
yeah.
addicted to Dr. Mario way back in the day also. And I'm talking about
Oh,
when I was like 5 or 10. But let me go back a little bit to in our conversation. This is why I love Brian. We start on one thing and then
oh, it's easy to jump around.
yeah, 50 topics later we got to go back. Um, what was I talking? Oh yeah, art being a waste of time. I think
Oh,
so. Basically, my view is anything not essential to survival is a waste of time. But so
not essential to survival. Well, I do think that play. I actually took a college course on sports and like play, like animals and play.
yeah,
It was like a sport psychology class. Anyway, um, and I think that comedy and laughing, and all that, it's a form of play, and it exercises your ability to socialize, which then in turn increases your ability to have things work out well when you're interacting with others. So
yeah,
in that sense, it's evolutionarily beneficial to perform, I guess, if ultimately is what I'm saying. Because, yeah, I mean, the stakes are high when you're getting up in front of people. I mean, that's why people freak out about, I don't know, probably the first time they're trying to do stand-up or improv, they're like, I don't know, I'm not clever enough, I'm going to look stupid. And it's like, if you just lean into that and you're just like, okay, it's okay for me to look stupid, I just kind of need to look comfortable is all,
yeah.
then all of a sudden everybody's on your side, or at least a lot more so. I know it's a little bit harder in the stand-up field because everybody there is probably trying to not laugh as much at your stuff as they want everybody to laugh at their stuff, so.
Yeah, it's from my experience, I actually thought so I think it's harder to be good at improv, but it's harder but it's way harder to find great stand up. Like it's easier to be good. It's harder to be good at improv, but it's way harder to be great at stand up. Like
Oh, I bet.
it's
Yes. No, I think it's just harder to get a start in stand up because you have to wade through a bunch of you being really bad at it. Whereas with improv, even if you're really bad at it, if you're having a good time and you're not like bulldozing other people, you're otherwise taking the lessons of improv, like you can learn basic skills in improv that will get you along in a lot of scenes, and people will otherwise be like, okay, they weren't the funniest person, but they didn't like ruin scenes, and they didn't
yeah,
like come in like just try and be a goon.
exactly. As soon as
What do you think about what I said in regard to that making comedy less frivolous, right? To get us back on topic,
yeah,
it's like it serves a purpose for like a very strong purpose, like to live. Maybe not. It's not essential for living,
yeah.
but it's essential for thriving, I think.
Oh, definitely. Let me give you an example of this. So let's say there's a caveman just out in the field with his spear, He's walking around, and all of a
Yeah.
sudden, a mammoth starts charging at him.
Yeah.
So all of a sudden, he sees this mammoth and he runs, and then he stops at the side of a cliff. And so a
Yeah.
mammoth is charging at him. Last second, he jumps out of the way. Mammoth goes off the cliff. So the
Yeah.
caveman looks over the cliff and flicks off the mammoth. That flicking off the
Man,
mammoth is art.
that's art.
That's art. It's not essential to survival, but it is an expression.
Oh, because it's just the expression
Yeah,
of that. It's like, oh, you just made me go through all that shit, and here's how I express that. So
exactly.
that's art. That's that basic.
That it's literally that basic, in my opinion.
Hmm.
Any expression or that's not essential to survival is art.
Hmm.
So
I don't know. Yeah, I guess so. Like, I guess I haven't defined it very well. I like this a lot. I mean, I like thinking about things obviously very philosophically. That because like art to me, I guess I still want to make it more central to our survival. Like if you like, it's almost a
yeah,
part of what it means to be human. Like no other animal that we know of would
yeah,
do that. Would need to jeer at something like surviving a mammoth charge. You
yeah,
know, we do it inherently, I guess. It came out of humans inherently. So yeah, I guess it isn't essential for survival, but I feel like it is still an essential part of us, which is weird.
yeah. And over the
That,
years,
oh,
it this is really getting philosophical, but
I mean that's me too. If you know who you're talking to.
oh, absolutely. But on the flip side, I also say you're my favorite goofball on stage. So, which is
Oh yeah,
essential. Like, art is really an emotional and something to elicit an emotional response. That's just my thinking of it.
yeah. Um, Yeah, but I still see that as a tool. Like I still see it as a tool of survival, right?
Yeah,
Because like if you elicit an emotional response out of people with art, I mean, you can. I mean, just look at propaganda art. You know, it's moved armies. It's moved whole societies of people to do crazy things,
yeah,
or amazing things. And so or inspire somebody to create something that otherwise because like yeah it's I like that you brought it back to caveman times because um, like a caveman example because a lot of my art like when I really started getting into cartooning at the end of my college time and young adulthood still a young adult I suppose when I was really into cartooning, I focused on cavemen, like a group of troglodytes that were doing some of mankind's firsts, and how did they come across these ideas, or how do they discover these ways of these kind of cultural norms that are anyway. Just like how did we come out of caveman and start doing all these really complicated stuffs,
yeah,
build the first building the shit like that. I don't know.
definitely.
Not
And
a lot came of it, obviously, but yeah, I just kind of like the analogy, or like thinking back to like we're not that much different than our caveman counterparts. Um, there's just a lot more noise, I suppose, and a lot of that noise maybe is art.
oh, definitely. It's like, going to the store and it's like, art really. Okay, what am I trying to say here? Staring at a label.
Yeah, I don't know what I'm trying to
Yeah,
say.
staring at a label of a can of peas. You got four different things. You know, without the price. Without the prices, you look at the peas. It's like, of of course you're going to eat peas because you need to eat for survival. But which peas? You'll just take a look. Oh, you got the picture of the peas. Oh, there's a nice farm on this one. Oh, there's an actual. You could sort of make your decisions based on art as well. What kind of pea. In the end, it's still peas, but you're just deciding which
Uh,
label maker.
how about, right. You mentioned, you don't know which peas or maybe which picture, but something I realized is like even the words like you say natural, like that's art. It's kind of like an artistic way of saying, oh, this is natural. It doesn't really mean anything. I mean,
Yep.
anything is natural that's made of a process of the earth. It's like, where do you draw the line of something not being natural anymore? Not made by man, I suppose, or what something. But just that more what I'm getting at is that words are art, and we
Yep.
use words right now. We're using them to communicate to each other, so we're being artistic with each other in the words that we choose, or how our brain comes up with what words we know and how to put them together. It's a form of art that is essential for our survival.
Yeah. And I just want to point out to the viewers, I am completely sober right now. So this is, I'm not sure on his end, but I'm pretty
I
sure
am
knowing
too.
Brian, he's decently sober at this time of day. So
Yeah.
this is the crazy conversations we used to get into all the time. Just
Yeah.
wackiness.
I mean, I love anybody who can hang with a conversation that goes into the depths, because that's my favorite thing to do is explore all the edges of our brain and how we work. I mean, it's or how we think even.
Yep. The only difference is with me, I'll throw in a dick joke.
Yeah, and then it totally interrupts the flow, and then we have to decide if we want to get back on topic or.
Yeah. So let me ask you this. I know you're a very, very productive guy. You're not one of those people
uh,
who just lie back.
the reason I missed the first 15 minutes, or our scheduled time to start is because I was playing video games. I mean,
Yeah.
I've just kind of drilled into playing more video games. I'm hoping I'm going to burn out on playing games so that I can get back to the more productive, creative pursuits that I love and enjoy.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah.
sidebar.
Like for me, I'm doing this YouTube show, writing a script. I told myself if I'm going to be quarantined, you know, 4 hours a day minimum, just, pen and paper, write down ideas or talk with people, get out there,
Yeah, I,
virtually.
I, I need something outside myself to kind of push me to do that more.
Yeah.
I had a friend actually reach out and say, hey, you stopped playing video games a long time ago. And he's like, hey, I noticed you play a lot of video games and you're too talented to be spending that much time on the Xbox or whatever. And part of me is going, fuck you,
Yep.
it is my talent to squander if I want, so, but part of me going, yeah, absolutely. I should be spending this time where I can't do anything else. So, doing something more constructive.
Yeah. So I was gonna ask you, what constructive things are you working on? But just video games?
Um, currently, currently not much. I think a big part of it is my work life kind of balance shifted a couple years back, and I kind of focused more on growing um, my my career, I guess, in my office career, which was a hard choice to make because I
Yeah.
am very much a need to create kind of person, but I kind of invested more of myself into taking value in the skills I was building, just being an account manager. And so, yeah, I kind of like I would get home and I would just want to do the easiest form of achievement. Video games provide a really great. It was a way to connect with friends, obviously, because you can play online.
Yep.
But yeah, like it's just kind of you can kind of turn your brain off, but also still be problem solving at the same time.
Like improv.
Uh, It just, yeah, like improv. So I've kind of slipped into yeah, a less creative, productive person.
Mm.
And it's unfortunate just trying to build those building blocks back by doing more improv shows. I've started to do more improv shows, obviously with hip opera. But then this COVID thing happens and it kind of shuts a lot of that down.
Yep.
Yeah, so I'm just trying to continue rebuilding. I've picked up the guitar a couple times recently, and so I'm doing that again. I pulled out my looper today because I used to have a lot of fun. I actually asked for a new looper for a birthday a couple years ago, and I barely used it. So I'm trying. I'm trying to kind of get those creative things. It's inevitable for me. I can only only flatline or plateau on creativity for so long before I drive myself crazy, and then I'm like, I gotta do something else.
Yeah.
So it's only a matter.
Yeah. Well.
And given how long it's projected this COVID thing is gonna be going on, I'll have enough time to kind of
Yeah.
find my jump off point.
Definitely. Yeah. My jump off point. I've been self quarantined for the most part since the 12th. So 2 weeks later, I remember a weekend I was like, this is getting old. There was a point where I didn't wear jeans for like 3 days straight. Uh,
Yeah.
and I was like, I need to start developing healthy habits. So,
Yeah, that's something me and Giuseppe were talking about is just getting up in the morning and showering, or getting up in the morning and doing something before going to my office, like
yeah.
the long commute there. Um, just because, yeah, like I'm wearing the same clothes every day or whatever, and I'm not really changing clothes, which is nice, but still, like just getting into a routine so that I don't just become a blob, I guess.
Yeah.
So that there's some semblance and structure to life.
Yeah. Wow. I didn't think this would turn into like a motivational speech to get you off your butt and do stuff.
That's right. That's what it is. Thank you, Seth.
But that's the thing.
Yeah,
I care about you, Brian. I know how entertaining you are. So it's like get out there and do artistic endeavors. You're great.
thank you. Thanks for the push, and it's always welcome.
Yeah. All right. Well, Brian, I'm gonna let you get back to your video games. I absolutely love talking to you every time. So,
Likewise, Seth. This was a real treat to get to talk with you and be a part of your social experiment here. Or yeah.
oh, it's a social experiment. You got it down perfectly.
Yeah, okay, good. All right.
Really, it's just me calling old friends, seeing what they're up to, and just giving them hope.
I love it. Thank you, Seth.
All right. Take
Mission
care.
successful today. Yeah, you too.